Story channeling. The art of imagination.
Once there lived a Marsharian woman of great wealth and prestige. She owned many luxurious penthouses throughout the city and many more villas around the world. Everywhere she went, her fame preceded her, and she had many friends and followers. However, even though she was surrounded by material abundance on the outside, on the inside, she was very unhappy. She hid her unhappiness from others, trying to cure herself by pretending everything was fine. Yet, no matter how much she tried to fill the void, her discontentment spread like a disease. Soon it began to affect not only her mind but her body as well, and she became very sick. For many years, she consulted the top doctors and received the best medications. Yet, she still could not find a way to free herself from the pain that was slowly destroying her. Finally, after exhausting all other options, she decided to consult a medicine man who she was told had the ability to discover and to cure any ailment. The medicine man lived on the outskirts of the city, in the eastern village, a place she had never gone before. Concealing her identity, in order to not be taken advantage of, the woman made her way to the home of the medicine man. The medicine man welcomed the woman inside and seated her at a table made from the stump of an old tree. Never had the woman been inside a place like this before, and she felt a bit uneasy. Without saying a word, the medicine man took the woman's hands into his, and silently began to read her palms. In her hands, he saw that she was rich and full of possessions, but very unhappy, because she was never able to be who she really wanted to be. He also saw that she was not really a Marsharian, but was actually born in Chpt, a small abandoned town just outside the northeast border of Marshare, a place she had not returned since her childhood.
For many years, you have spent your life conforming to societal norms, hiding your true passions and filtering your conversation because you fear how others will perceive you if you express your true self. This is the cause of your illness.
He told her she must return to her hometown, back to the moment where she lost something important about herself. The woman did not understand. She had not remembered losing anything.
What must I do to cure myself? I have tried everything.
You must find what you have lost so many years ago. Only there will you be set free. Grow younger. For what you feel makes everything real. And emotion is the only thing that remains true.
So she packed a bag and she set out on a journey back to her old home. As she walked through the streets of her childhood, all of her memories began to rush back to her. She saw the schoolyard in which she used to play, the tree which she had fallen from and broken her arm. Finally, she arrived at her childhood home. She saw a young girl playing in the front yard. She was flapping her arms and jumping, kicking her feet while in the air. This reminded the woman of a moment from her own childhood. As a young girl, she loved birds. So much so that she made it a purpose to pursue the ability to fly. She practiced every day, and when she could not go outside, she would sit and think of new ways to do it, even speaking with the birds to get advice. The woman smiled at the memory. As she watched, a group of older children were passing by and stopped to stare at the girl. The little girl ran up to them excitedly to show how she was learning to fly. She began to demonstrate by flapping her arms like a bird, running and jumping up and down. I've been watching the birds, and one day, I will fly too. The older children burst into laughter of the little girl. You can't fly, you stupid girl, one of the kids said. No one can. And they all laughed hysterically again as they walked down the street flapping their arms in mockery. The little girl lowered her head, slowly dropping her arms to her side. She sadly walked into the house, leaving her wings behind. The woman remembered this day well. The day she stopped believing she could fly. She stopped practicing, and over time, she began to think and express herself like the other children. Tears filled the woman's eyes, for this was the moment the shaman had spoken of.
Grow younger.
The moment she lost her ability to truly express herself.
Emotion is the only thing that remains true.
The medicine man stared into her eyes, and the woman understood what she must do to cure herself. She stood to her feet and slowly raised her arms out from her sides.
I can fly.
She began to flap.
I can fly.
Immediately her heart was filled with so much joy, it felt as if her feet no longer touched the ground.
Fly.
From that moment forward, the woman lived from that place, expressing her truth wherever she went.
Fly.
Her body healed and her mind was cleansed.
Fly.
She was alive.
I see you living for the day, but what else is new? Have you found your place? Have you found a way to communicate? What you really here to say? Have you? I know you tried before, but they stood there and laughed and walked away. Have you been back there? Have you been there, back there to that day? Remember? After all, it's just what you can feel that makes any of this real for real. All the scientists know, parents do too. We just getting younger while emotion stays true. Keep dreaming, even though we'll have to go soon. Keep dreaming, now I can see the whole view. When will you let go of the old you? Life will go on forever and ever, but after all, it's just you. And after all, it's just you. And after all, it's just you. And after all, it's just the ocean that matters. When will you let go? When will you let go of the old you?
I feel anxious. Mistakes made hold me back from trying. So I lie to myself and I make the world see what they want to see. But when will we? When will we learn?